But speaking on the AM show, Samuel Kujota Blakwa said the only sure way to deal with the problem is to abolish the protocol system. Now moving on to other stories. Agriculture experts believe a new agreement to allow United States pork products flooding the market will wipe out hundreds of livelihoods in the local value chain in Ghana. Local pig farmers are panicking as the move could destroy gains made over the years. In a statement cited by Joy News, the United States now has a green light from the Ministry of Agriculture's Veterinary Services Directorate to officially bring in pork and other meat product. However, agriculture economist Robert Adu believes it is the wrong move. Agric Experts they believe that the new agreement that the government of Ghana has, signed on to allowing the United States pork producers to flood the Ghanaian market with their pork product will wipe out hundreds of livelihoods. Now, they argue that local pig farmers, have tried to develop the industry to a certain level, and they are panicking now as the move could destroy gains made over the years. In a statement that we have cited, the United States can now bring in pork and pork products and other meat products into the Ghanaian market, and many believe this will hurt the local industry. The farmers have warned that if this is allowed to follow through, their livelihood will be wiped out, including hundreds of jobs that will be lost. Now, so economist Robert Adu has been speaking on this, and he believes it's something that should not be encouraged.
One, it is going to affect employment. Most of these young pig farms are going to collapse. There's no two ways about that. The cost is just too high to produce locally. Now, when you compare that to the one that they're going to bring in, the normal consumer who already has challenges with budget will go for the cheaper option. And when we are even talking about the health implications, those they are going to bring, no one really knows for how many years they have preserved them. And so I think as far as employment is concerned, we should try to be very cautious.
Now, Anthony Morrison is Executive Director of the Chamber of Agric Business, and he is joining us live here for more. We also have Mr. Appiah, who is President of the Pig Breeders Association. Now, Mr. Appiah, grateful that you could join us. Tell us more about your misgivings regarding this new agreement between Ghana and the United States. So let me go to Anthony Morrison. Anthony, you have been in the know of this for quite some time. You've harbored this particular action towards this whole agreement, that it's not something that we should allow to go through. What do you know and that influences you to then conclude that it's a wrong deal for Ghana?
Thank you very much, and a very good morning to your cherished listeners. Let me first of all correct this. I'm the CEO, not the Executive Director. Now, we do know that currently Ghana actually imports pork from several European countries. We know of Lithuania, we know of France, we know of Belgium, Brazil, and several others, UK, Netherlands, all. We also do know that Ghana actually also exports some live piggery to China. You know, China is the largest consumer of pork globally. Now, this industry is a very vibrant industry. It is an industry where more of the middle income players within the industry have, or Ghanaian population, have actually invested a lot of their money, from bank managers, security or military officers, teachers, businessmen have put in a lot into the piggery industry. And the piggery industry has been feeding the sector for several years. It is a sector where a lot of people actually exploit most of their investments. And you see, in the current economic situation where a lot of people are having haircuts at the bank, the poultry industry remains one of the most lucrative livestock sector in the whole country. In fact, you find it very difficult to hear that somebody is looking for pig to buy or pork meat to buy and the person can't get it. No, it doesn't happen. So it is one of the most lucrative. Now, the new orientation from the Ministry of Trade and also Ministry of Agriculture at the auspices of the Animal Health and also the United States Department for Agriculture. Ultimately, the Chamber is not against it, but we think that there were a few things that were not thought through. There were no consultation. The industry was not properly addressed with the implications or the impact. We were not made aware to be ready. Enough time was not given to us to position the private sector to accept and to structure its business strategies in view of the importation. Then again, we do not have a very strong policy or even a strategy for the pork industry in Ghana.
But Anthony, are you saying that if all of those were the case, it will still be right for us to allow those imports? And again, it won't have that deadly impact on the local industry. Is that what you're arguing for?
So one thing is information, data. If we were well informed and if there were well consultations that were done, Ministry of Trade and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture will know the data beforehand as to whether the quantity or the quantum of metric tons they are giving to the American companies to import into their country is required or not. Okay? So it's not that we as a country are deficient of pork meat. No, we are not. But you see, this is an international trade and it ought to follow some kind of procedure. Okay? There is the International Trade Commission of the country aware that such a document has been signed, giving another country an undue advantage over its farmers. And you see, you raise another very important point, which is the fact that if these consultations were done, the panic that we are experiencing right now in the industry, we will not. As against the current economic hardships that we are facing in the country. Look, it would have been much strategic. It would have been much strategic now to begin to look at it from a lot of perspectives. We would have negotiated very well to attend that we will be able to say, look, what we need is capacity building. What we need is technological transformation, some kind of, engagement with the more superior, more technologically placed pork farmers or pig farmers in America.
Okay. So Anthony, now that the agreement has gone through, because the both parties have agreed that, well, would allow you to bring your produce. The other side said, okay, I will bring the produce. What should happen such that it doesn't bring that, serious threat to the local business?
I think that the agreement itself is not contaminated with you. You sign agreement, you look at short-term, medium-term, long-term implementation. So we look at 3 months, 6 months, and you can seek a review of the agreement. What we can do now is to look at designing a workable partnership with the United States Department for Agriculture and USAID to give capacity to a lot of farmers in the country. Maybe it is also time for the livestock division of the country, livestock public health, to now actively engage the industry and build a data. You see, our problem in this country is data of production and data of trade.
Okay.
We do not have any of these things. So it is time we clean the industry, actually be able to take stock of the current production numbers, region by region, district by district. What are the capacities of the people who are in this, and what is the total wealth of the piggery industry in Ghana? When we begin to do this, you understand that we will actually be engaging negotiations, not because of need, but because of data availability, which is informing the decision and the policy.
Okay.
That is where we need to be getting to as a country.
Grateful. Anthony Morrison is the Chief Executive Officer for the Ghana Chamber of Agribusiness. Grateful that you could join us here. Moving on.